This platform is independent, and we wanted to work with everyone across the spectrum. So folks are invited to share what they know, and the viewers make their choice, and we ask the questions and we give the guest the opportunity to answer.
This craziness, man, I do not care. Why am I so anti-establishment? Because of what I've seen the establishment do to people. That's why I cannot be pro-establishment.
Power is in the hands of the people. And it really did. What we all witnessed is the government, they knew that they're heading in the wrong direction. They knew Gambians are speaking in the same voice.
What law in the books that says the government has power to come out and go after folks' private citizens' properties and demolish them because somehow the government interest?
The only way that we can salvage our country is when everybody gets their hand dirty. Don't sit there with your expertise and just to procrastinate everything that people say or pontificate, what everybody says or does. Let's get our hands dirty.
Good afternoon. 40 people by the people. Pap Samba Easter Sunday. Happy to all our Christian brethren. So how you, my brother?
I'm good. Well, first to wish all the Christians and all those celebrating Easter.
Yes.
A very, very, very happy Easter. So when Easter comes, what's the other one? Good Friday.
Right.
I become nostalgic. Because it shows also the level of religious tolerance in our country, where sa neighbors si kenn du xam kan mooy Christian. Well, Easter moom ñëpp dañ lay xam ñan ñooy Christian because ñoo lay joxe naan buru yi. But how everybody gets into it, and all that, definitely I think is just a great feeling. I always miss it. So Mary ndeysaan ñu suñ koñ yaa ngi amoon ñoom yaayande yaay bonu ñoom yaafaat ndeel ñoom kii naka la tudda ñoom Mr. Jawo teacher bi
waaw
ñoom Marietu Roberts all these people ñi nga xam ne ni fa la affaire yi di jógee naan buru yi
yes
ñëw rang and a whole host of ñoom yaa diminga ndeysaan because suma maire bi moom best friend am yaa diminga benn maire njaago la bu nekkoon suñ koñ foofu noonu. They were very, very, very close, but and I know that's the story for most Gambians, growing up in that country, definitely.
Somehow even Nanburu Bisa Boybi, the culinary community then go hijack. Because back in the Gambia, Nanburi timing is starting. It wasn't like, you know what I mean, an all year round dish per se. But it looks like lately, even when you go to Ngentes, they have it. When you go to, reunions and Gambian anniversaries, they all have that. They all do have that. Sorry about that. Somebody calling me from Gambia. And then when you even go to African stores, say, for instance, Mary Ndur, she has this nice restaurant, Mary's restaurant here in Atlanta. Anytime you go there, you can get your nanburu. So it's without a doubt, it's a Gambian dish.
It is.
I mean, Pop Samba, tonight, though, I'm operating from a totally different location. I'm right here at Wells, Savannah Event Hall. One of those things.
Question, sir, when are we going to change the name to the UMC Event Hall? That's the only thing you talk about.
I'm thinking about it. Don't think for a minute. I am thinking about it. I'm talking about UMC Event Hall. I think I'm going to take an opportunity to, what would I say, jump the guns. There's a huge event happening, Pop Samba. Again, you know and I know what I would call one of the huge calendar events within the Gambian community, abroad and at home, is the July 4th. This year, like we've done in the past, Pop Samba, I know you remember back in the 2000s when we brought all the politicians to Atlanta, Georgia. You call it the epicenter, not me, you and Karamba Toure. The epicenter of the liberation struggle.
Who called it the epicenter of the liberation struggle?
You and Karamba Toure.
When Karamba called it that, I have never called it that. I will never call it
the epicenter. Everybody came here, and the rest, of course, is history. And yes, Pap Samba, you remember the launching of Sir Dawda's book, the biggest event ever. You know how we do here in Atlanta? We go for the big stuff, and we are at it again. July 3rd, 2026.
What day is that?
Happening. It's going to be on a Friday. Something is happening. All the families, everybody coming for the July 4th. Remember, there's going to be soccer. There's going to be the parties. There's going to be a lot of that. But this year, there's going to be something huge. There's what I would call building the bridges between Gambia and the diaspora. There's going to be a huge town hall to be conducted by Talib Ahmed Bensouda of Unite. He's coming to Atlanta. There's going to be a town hall. It is not a UMC event. It's a Gambian event. He's going to come here. He's going to be challenged. Asamba, you know and I know the contribution from the diaspora, what it has done. Until today, we have absolutely nothing to show for it. We want to make sure we'll bring him here. We'll ask him on day one, what are you going to do? We don't want political rhetoric. We want what needs to be done on day one. Pap Samba, I think it's a conversation that we need to have. And Talib has already assured that he's coming. And the planning is already underway. And we're putting it together. It's not only an Atlanta event. I mean, the McCams house from the Carolinas, people from Wisconsin, and I'm sure from your neck of the woods, Washington, everybody is talking about it. This huge town hall that is about to happen. Put it on your calendar, folks, the guys who are listening. Planning a trip to Atlanta for a town hall, please put it on your calendar. Buy the ticket now. Oh, now, wait a minute. You can't buy the ticket now. But like airfares, you need with Trump and his But what I would say is put it on your calendar, wait for a week or two. Hopefully this war will be done, and then book your ticket. You know how this Sunday park is, Pop Samba. You were here last year. I mean, it was unbelievable, a family event. So Nimako Gise Nimoy, the people that are political junkies like us, and also people that are concerned about the role of the diaspora, whether it's in terms of putting together policies and programs. There's a lot of talk, especially from this current government, diaspora investments. And then they'll tell you $800 million was pumped in to the economy. We want to ask Mr. Bensouda, how are we going to do that differently? These are questions, perhaps, that we need to ask. How are we going to participate politically? When are we going to start voting to be enfranchised? Every diasporan. Those are the questions. That's a conversation that we need to have. And I'm looking forward to Pap Samba. You have a special invitation with my main man, Brother Marong. Special invitation to make it right here in Atlanta, Georgia. That was an infomercial, but I thought it was important.
Infomercial, I think we need to charge you because it went for way too long, more than the amount they paying customers he have. Why not? Nene is asking, why am I laughing? Believe me, that laugh is because of Ki Salu Cham, Luwa Moidega, charging soap wreck.
Sal Khalifa men guy was soap.
What are they? Soap? But Musa, yeah, well, you know what? Look forward to it. I don't know whether I was telling you that I will make it to Atlanta this time, but I will try to come. Why?
Well,
What I also want to say, lingam ni mo gëna important sa si bopam, you see voter registration. For Gambians to understand on Wednesday, if you do not have a voter's card or there is something wrong with your voter's card, this is your opportunity to go and get registered. The opposition parties, you have election fraud and all this is your opportunity to monitor the process to make sure it's credible. Because you have a role to play in it. The IEC same role more to register bona fide Gambians to borrow from Sankare. All right? The opposition same role and all opposition parties or political parties is to make sure those who claim to be Gambians are actually Gambians are worthy of being registered. The IEC would only register people who present themselves and are attested to as Gambians. They cannot do any more than that. So that's why immediately after the voter registration happens and they do a publication of the voter rolls, revising courts are set up across the country so that Gambians would go and help the process, because the credibility of an election, Musa, does not only rest on the IEC.
Absolutely.
It rests on every citizen. We have to participate. More so, the political parties, because of they have vested interest in it. So it gives you a let's not sit here and talk about, you get registered 980 million. No, the IEC will register whoever comes and claims to be a Gambian and is attested to, because IEC amuj the right to you are not a Gambian. This is why the IEC will register. When they are done, they would publish the voter roll for scrutiny, for every Gambian to look at it and scrutinize it. If you see a Musa Jeng from Kungel, Senegal, registered, you can go on a key, I can bet my bottom dollar is not a Gambian. And these are the evidences that I have, and that person can be struck off the voter roll. But for that to happen, the opposition must not only be talking the talk, but walking the walk. You have to walk the walk, do the work to make sure that at least at the end of the day, those who are only worthy of being registered are registered. So lolu happen mo Musa bu ñu kenn ray fi ni ak election si dañ ko sacc voter roll is too long or is too much, and we all have a role to play. Let's play it effectively. But those that are not registered, please go and get yourself registered.
We all do have a role to play. Because, you know, especially the young people, it is about your future. People that are over 60, like myself, like Pasamba, like Brother Chongan, small Waji. You know what? Maybe for the next 20, 30, 40 years, we ain't going to be around.
40 years kind of nobody moves.
Money, But you young guys, it is about your future and the kind of Gambia that you want to create. Look, you can sit at a rendezvous and then just do the big talk, the usual. We've all done that. Hang at James Senegal, switch at yeah, man, bro, guy. Bro, man, do my vote, yeah, I mean, koto ini, such a halis berek. Boy, be amun getting sakanga votal. Bro, nyomye benaleng. Look, you can do that all you want. But one thing that I can guarantee you is not going to bring about your change. It's not going to bring about change. It is about your future. You can arrest it. You can make a difference. If you don't like what's going on, do something about it. What can you do about it? Okay, you can protest. I get that. But you know what? The biggest protest that can be impactful and make a difference is to go get that voter's card on Wednesday. Lined up and get it. Dugal ko sa gacha sa libi sa post bi. Come election day, you go in and vote your conscience and vote for the change that you want to see. Nobody is going to do that for you. You do it for yourself. Denko sachak, sachun kokak, foreigner yange voter, foreigner you voting cat. To most of you, you may not have a whole lot of control over that. The most thing that you have control over, more your vote. Yes, if you believe that Abdoulaye Sarr out there, you're hanging a kini to Gambian and is actually voting, without a doubt, I think you should call him out. I think it's important. When you it is not within our powers or purview to determine who is a Gambian and who is not. What you have power over
is your vote.
Vote. Like Obama would say, don't boo, vote. He knows. It took Black Americans getting up in their numbers. I still remember, Pasama, 10, 15 years ago. You go to barber shops, everybody was ready to vote. No, I'm voters card in their lives. I still remember the line in Atlanta. And this was early voting.
Yep.
I mean, these people were determined to make sure Barack Obama is voted into office. Most Black people did not believe that it was possible. I saw the line in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I woke up early in the morning when I saw that. The enthusiasm that it gave me, the change is going to happen.
And
because people made it their business for that to happen. Look, guys, if we make it our business for change to happen, then change will happen. Barrow will be gone. If we decide to be complacent, to be, the change doesn't really matter. Well, it is what it is. Like my mom used to say. Because at the end of the day, it is our country and we all have a stake. And then we need to exercise that. We all know, Pasama, you saw what happened in Bruford when government made a decision and the young people decided to say, not under our watch.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it.
Of course.
So that tells you the power that you have.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is exercise it responsibly now. If you do that, I think change will happen, Pasama. And I'm hoping most of these young kids, what's the age again, Pasama? 18?
18. Yes. I mean, 18. And LJ, I was just on the phone with him. Will join us at 1:30 our time, 5:30 Gambia time, prompt. There is a question because hamne momla Bakari lache. We need to cleanse or clean the current voter roll. That's not going to happen.
No, do yomba.
No. The only cleaning that can happen legally is to remove those who died, who were registered and are not alive. You can do that if they know that they are dead. This is why democracy is a participatory process.
Yes.
It's not one where you leave it to people to do what they want and then you complain.
Mm-hmm.
General voter registration happens, I think, every 10 years or so. So the next one will happen before the next elections, the 2031 elections or so before that. Mm-hmm. That's when they will have a fresh one.
Yes, one, yes.
So all that is important now, though, more those who are not registered, which are many. There are a lot of young people who were in high school, who've now at grade 12 or whatever grade you call, you said 18 or them maybe watching or so, who need to be registered. And the job, in fact, I want to do a public PSA on this, and I would encourage other people to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
To call on Gambians to go and register to vote. If you're not registered, go and register to vote. If you've lost your voter's card, this is your opportunity. Foreigner vote, if all Gambians vote,
exactly.
Their realities, and a key word, if they vote their realities,
yes,
then we will not have a problem. But Musa, before LJ, I just wanted to pivot on something. Recently, we saw Demba, our man, Ibrahim Diba.
Yes.
He was at the Darboe Kunda, I think that's what it is called, Gamo, annual Gamo.
Yeah, Dobo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of talk.
Right.
There were people who saw it from a political lens.
Mm-hmm.
You would see some people who were hard in UDP who didn't like that because they were saying, oh, he's a hypocrite because he betrayed Usainu. Now he is going there talking. There are those who are in UMC who are nervous because to them, oh, this can be a problem because this guy, maybe he would go back to the UDP. But Musa, there is something that people must understand. Ibrahim Adiba's relationship with Ousainou Darboe is not a transactional one. You see, a transactional relationship is where ñun ñëpp dañ bokk benn parti rek parti bi tas na ma demee suma boor nga demee suma boor. Yes, politics brought them together. But they had a shared belief that developed into unquestionable love for each other that endured for decades. Ibrahim Adiba, when he joined the UDP, he was a very young boy. But he was there on Ousainu's side. He continued to be on Ousainu's side until he decided, you know what, I am going to join another group. That doesn't mean I do not love Ousainou anymore. It's just like, you know what, my aspirations have changed a little bit. I feel that maybe what I want, and that is the change. That's just what it is. So people must understand this. Ousainou and Ibrahim Adiba, they will never be separated. There is a saying in Wolof. You ne ku buga du bañ dafa mer rek. You ne ku bañ nak du buga dafa naxé. When you love, you love. When you hate, you hate. Hate cannot just turn overnight into love. I remember this thing become very interesting to me. It's just my relationship with
very related to you, yes.
I can relate to it.
Exactly.
2016, Khalifa was a candidate. Who was I supporting before coalition 2016 came about? Dr. Toure.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes, both of us.
Does that mean that I loved Khalifa any less? No. Didn't mean that I trusted Khalifa any less? No. Didn't mean that I trusted his leadership any less? No. But it was a strategic move on my side, believing that maybe with Dr. Toure, we may be able to have a coalition because of he would garner the respect of everybody. And that's just what it is. So to all these people yelling, calm down, this has nothing to do with you. Actually, it's not your business. This is between Ibrahim Adiba, the individual, not the politician, and Ousainou Darboe, his mentor, for a very long time. I just wanted to say that most.
No, Pasamba, this was one issue that consumed us. I just saw Bob Toure wrote something, and he knows something about it. Because we participated, I'm a straight shooter, even within UMC, there was divisions and people with different opinions about it. And rightly so. In as much as the relationship, and that there's a lot more to it than just the politics of it. Well, unfortunately, these are all two big political animals. And people are going to read that into it. And this is what I can say about this. When I woke up and I saw it, I also look at it even from a strictly political prism. I liked it. I really do. Because for me, I don't see how in God's name that can hurt UDP or hurt UMC. Manlawade. My first reading of it. And also because I know Ibrahim Adiba.
Oh, yes.
Ibrahim Adiba and both Ibrahim Adiba and Mr. Darboe, what happened? No, they don't want it.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's the most difficult thing for them to deal with. If they could just flip a finger and then make it to go away, they will do it. We all know why Ibrahim Adiba left the United Democratic Party for UMC. Really? Oh, betrayal, or this, or that. No, it is not. Really, it is not. Like most of the guys from the UDP that left, it's all about, they were in a party, they didn't believe that this is the way for them to deliver the state house to the UDP. They just didn't believe it. They lost faith in that. And within the personal relationship with Ibrahim Adiba and Ousainou, remember, it was Ousainou who handpicked him and said, Ibrahim, Kim Hamud politics nobody. Walk with him. I'm not sitting here saying that Dafne Kodemal to in Talib de Indian dem neka president in Tema wo for it. But we all know that. So For some, I'm going to focus this on UMC. For some that are taking it, well, people are going to use it as a propaganda, and it's going to diminish the UMC. Or you know what, Ibrahim Amisa, he has gone back to UDP. I'm in the Bazamba. In politics. Because things evolve, the dynamics change. When that happens, you may need somebody to dance tango with. So, Orut. Look, UMC wants change. The reason why I support UMC is not because of me. I don't like the other opposition. You know how I feel about Halifa Sallah. In terms of respect, in terms of belief, a Doi government can bring about change. You know that. Why Sento Umoko Fofu? The man, I want change. And I believe UMC is the key to do that. And this is not just propaganda. I'm just telling you, man, my own person. I can only speak for myself. And I'm sure a lot of people like the Ibrahim Adibas, the Kemo Bojangs, Aknon Bob Ture, Lolu Molen, there is absolutely no way they disrespect Mr. Darboe. Absolutely no way. Ibrahim Adiba, what you saw there, the crying, it's not something you made up.
And that's Ibrahim Adiba.
That's his heart.
And when Ibrahim speaks, there are two things that are bound to happen. Either Dina Joy or Butari Al-Khura.
I was looking at him and looking at Mr. Darboe. Sumayaram dafa daw.
Yeah.
If I had a way to make it go away, I know you guys think I hate UDP. Flip of a finger, I'll make it go away. Because I know what's in their heart. But when everything is said and done, people just need to calm down. Ibrahim Adiba hasn't gone anywhere. Nothing has changed. The dynamics haven't changed. Ibrahim Adiba's commitment is to make sure that there is change come 2026. And if it tends to happen, because look, we still have 5, 6, 7 months. Look, this is a moving train. And logical people, reasonable people, people that are politically savvy, at some point, there is going to be an intersection. When that happens, decisions are going to be made that would help.
Dr. Darboe.
He's not here yet.
And
so, so just a reminder, guys. Yeah. I felt the same way. Ibrahim Adiba is a good man. Look, Ibrahim Adiba, how many years has he been recruiting us? Mansa personally. Man, my own banga no EMB. And he comes to me and we talk. And I would disappoint him by writing something low hamne. And he's saying, the guy is kind-hearted. He's not an evil guy.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
He's a decent fellow. He's not going to sacrifice his relationship for Mr. Darboe for anybody, including Talib Ahmed Bensouda. That's what I can tell you.
You should never do that.
He will never do that. And people need
to not. In fact, we have to be. Like I told you, Musa, my best lesson, but I was, you know how crude I was? Na attack sana mane si bena is got sumana talbo unon ma defman ma Halifa. This was taken around 92, 93. I think about 93.
Right.
That symposium, I went after Sana Mane like I was crazy because I was really pissed off at him. All the revelations that he did, Nakasi Husabali was able to help him get scholarship for Malaysia, and then he took it. I remember Halifa was like, Waji, that was too harsh.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I was
like, you were young
and rude, and you know, I can wunna tasarefi wafi whatever I want to say and will not give a, you know, legi mange change tuti. You know, and I remember with OJ, I told you guys that story.
Yes.
OJ greeted me, man, they melni maraj me. And I was so them nak
you're gonna get a support from
Waji, you made a big mistake. What do you make? What do you mean make a mistake? Waji Koku is not your enemy, he's just your opponent. And guess what ended up happening? OJ and I and you and everybody became now
colleagues
in this fight. Who would have thought PPP ak Doysa would even join a group and you get from coalition together. That's what was happening that was how it happened in 2016. At the end of the day, no relationship should be broken if it is genuine. I'm not talking a transactional one.
Yes,
that is genuine. Should be broken by politics or divergence of views. Because people who are democratic should have no problem with sharing a platform, a relationship with somebody who holds a different view. You must have to be the most intolerant person to say that just because somebody speaks a different ideology than me, then munuma wahamom. Because it's a joke. But you know,
it is indeed. Well, hamna linga wahala rek boy bi digante Alhaji Ousainou Darboe ak Ibrahima Diba.
People should just be out of
it. I can tell you.
Look what Takatasuko.
So people need to Kana ko xamul Ibrahima Diba rek bilawul kitabi. Really.
Diba Chako. He's a good man. I love Ibrahima.
Seriously, he's a
very decent guy.
And Bobby, he's a very effective politician. I swear to God. Ibrahima,
and he learned his trade very well.
I read that speech. I mean, the guy just owned that. He owned the people that were around him. What I mean,
but that's just who he is, and he's always genuine when he speaks.
What
a mule joy. Ibrahima speaks from the heart. Ibrahima is not nakala to when Ibrahima speaks from the heart. You always get it from him. He's a good guy, and Mr. Darboe too, because most man. UDP. There was a time I was like, I used to go there real crazy.
You are tough.
But the thing is, man, Mr. Darboe, for example, has never recruited me to the UDP. I've had other UDP officers trying to say, oh, no, he has never mentioned that. He's always respected that divide, and we've always had a very mutual relationship. More so like Ibrahima Diba bi nga xamne ni bala Mr. Darboe dugga ci politique ci la dugga Mr. Darboe lu nekk la ko jaral. Ibrahima what has Ibrahima trouble mu jot yep ci aduna police arrest ko yep is
Mr. Darboe. Of course.
You say anything to Mr. Darboe, you get to him. So
it pisses him off. And I mean genuinely. I mean, no longer he's going to return home to Baba. Loli, I can tell you this. What Ibrahima would do, I think, and this is not what he tells me, it's just me and my speculation. Returning home to Baba UDP, no, he's not going to do that. What he would work on doing is bring it back together. That, Somo Helulu, Manala Kogongo. But to just walk away and then go, but now, first of all, that doesn't even help, to me, again, doesn't even help the opposition if change is what we want. I think being a Hamne would be much, much, much more effective and helpful. It's the idea of which most people, obviously, would say that is not even possible. Well, I don't belong to that group. Man, I always like to ubi buntu bitudi, dumoko def rap. Niko,
you are the deal maker. I just wanted to bala Modu Njai di lache. Modu Njai, we spoke to Swaibu.
Modu Njai,
wow, he was supposed to be here this week, but because he is now in Woolly, because Doi are having some of their meetings in Woolly, you know, community meetings and all that, so he would not be able to. In fact, he even wanted to try it from Woolly, but we know that internet connection was going to be a challenge. So I know that maybe Dr. Darboe is still trying to come in, you know.
Oh, you mean?
I'm going to send to his email. Okay.
LJ?
Yes.
Browser if you use
no, he wanted me to send it to his email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Man gis mo lool ma ngi fi tok fi rek di mbele rek ngir Moussa Dieng mi lañ lay.
Tukulor nuyu naa la naka Easter Sunday bi gëj ngay tarxiis ci suñ programme bi de to set the record straight. Maybe I'm going to bait you and say something that will just make you so angry. You would have to dial in and say something. I think I'm going to do just that. Yes. Yes, Modu Bilai is Gambian politics, but trust me, politics Gambia, politics Senegal, politics America, same difference. Bilai, they just it's the same thing. It's a question of ambitious people that are interest driven, that want to win elections, and they want to. I mean, that's just what it is.
Yep.
Show me anyone who is not very ambitious, and I'll tell you somebody that will never be elected to office. Pop Samba Jawmi can go elect to office because that's not where his head is. That's not how he's wired. The first thing you need Koku. He protests. But winning elections on Munay am 2% of many
No, but at the end of the day, it's not a matter of if you believe in it. I'm going politics. This Musa, if you're a Democrat,
right?
If you're a Democrat, you subject yourself to a process. And 3% of the people say you should respect the people enough to accept those results. What am I going to do? Cry about it? But
right.
you know, no?
Pazamba, Monday Dumafende, when Trump got elected, I was depressed. Dumafende, I was depressed. I'm serious. The family aduna daf masapi. I just didn't know how to take it. Like, goody gogu. And all of a sudden, around 3 a.m., Pasamba dafa many dama am fever. Dem tedi. Suma jaban nama yo khana yo ma yo election yo len ko defaram la yo. I cannot help it. You know what I mean? I was so emotionally invested in it. Denga hamne. It is just moilolu. You know, and there are people that are like that. boy Fatty, you told me the same thing. You told me that you were depressed for a long time.
Ibrahim, I got over it so quick.
You always on my case. Ibrahim Sise. So while I'm you mom daf la day toast.
Kokan la?
Ibrahim Sise. He spells his Sise with C-S-A-Y. So okay, how did you what's your take on the Candace interview? It was interesting.
Yeah, it was an interesting interview. Mose, you continue. Let me talk to Dr. Darboe. Gunjure having problems.
If it's a Safari browser, sometimes.
Yeah.
So I made all Google Chrome. Maybe that's sometimes.
Yeah, and I also sent it to his inbox. I'll call him.
Yeah. So as far as Candace's interview, I mean, Candace is someone that doesn't give a lot of interviews. I mean, several times we've reached out to him for Munyochi program bini, but you know, there's always one thing or another. And also, I even heard Peter Gomez say the same thing. Has reached out to him several times. He's not the kind of guy that would give interviews. And he was finally on Garme Suambi. Oh, okay. Pasamba, I think he's in. So, Kansula, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jang. How are you?
I'm doing well. Pasambang la dur dalade, mune gai gujuri, they are technologically challenged.
I did not say that.
It's all right. We are in now.
You know, I don't want Joe Sabu to come after me, so I did not say that.
Gunjur is now the capital. Everybody at least trying to get it. Gunjur.
How are you guys?
Fala affair bi nek.
Oh yeah.
You know? That's where the thing is heading to. Gunjur is the place. And,
It is.
yeah, but it's good to see you again. The last time you were here, it was all politics. Launching of course your candidacy, I think.
Yes.
But tonight, of course, you know, here is a political platform. We're not only dealing about legality.
Yes.
For that. So we will always find a way to you know, bring the politics.
Come back to politics.
Yes, absolutely. Pop Samba. But I want to take this opportunity to definitely congratulate you, because I think it was definitely huge when forget about even being a lawyer, when a Gambian stands with somebody and said, you know what, I don't want anything from you, but I want to make sure that your rights are protected. And that's what you did, and your firm and everybody else that participated in this process. And to me, that says a lot about you and what you are all about. Not only a human being, but a hell of a lawyer. If anything happens to me, I know exactly who to call.
Well, you have to go through Pasamba now.
No, we are not representing him. LJ, he is a bourgeois, so we're not representing the
I know. He can pay.
to borrow from Barrow, the elite. No.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but LJ, thank you very much for joining us. I know this was a prompting. I just sent you a message, and you are here. You know how we feel about you. You've been in the forefront of this fight, and I think what really separates people is when convenience comes. We've seen a lot of people who were part of the struggle, who fought against Jammeh's dictatorship. They saw all wrongs, but as soon as convenience came, they were able to look away. The first question that I'm going to ask you, LJ, you are in the judiciary, very important, one of the top lawyers in our country. To me, you are our Thurgood Marshall. What is the state of our jurisprudence? And that, when I'm talking about that, is not only its strengths, but vis-a-vis the respect that it deserves from other branches, in your own estimation?
Well, the judiciary today is independent. So if anything goes wrong, there are two possibilities. Either the judge or the magistrate, but more fundamentally, the judge got it wrong, or the judge probably has a bias. That is a possibility. But as to whether the judiciary is independent, that is, when you are making your decisions, you are not thinking of being arrested or being fired, that is no longer a possibility. So it's the extent of your ability and what your position is as far as the rule of law in its purest form is concerned. So we're in good hands. There are some very good judges. And so I have no doubt about those who are willing to do the right thing can do it without thinking of any repercussions. Because I believe Yakumba Jaita is a good case and on point. Because if you look at Yakumba Jaita, it was the president who was interested, but the court say, no, the president was wrong. There was no authority. So that in itself was very brave. But as to how the other branches of government, that is the National Assembly and the executive arm of government, relate to the judiciary, I think the latest incident in the case of the state and Hussein Bojang is a sad commentary on that aspect of the public life of the Gambia. Because what happened was the state had a right under Section 322 and 325 of the Criminal Procedure Act, that is the act as it is today, unchallenged. It has a right to appeal and to announce its intention that it is going to appeal the decision of the High Court. So the state can do that. What it cannot do is violate a court order and refuse to implement it. I think that was what was wrong with the latest intervention in the Hussein Bojang case. So once you said you intended to appeal and you filed that appeal, then that's fine. No problem. The machinery will be set in motion. So the case now has been transferred to the Court of Appeal. So that is not a problem. But Section 325 of the Criminal Procedure Act says that if that happened, the court, the state announces its intention in open court that it wants to appeal a particular judgment. Then it is the right of the person who has just been acquitted and discharged to say, I am applying for bail. That was what happened. Bail was applied, it was granted. The process was complete. And then the prison authorities refused, for whatever reason, to release Hussein Bojang. And even more amazingly, it then decided to transfer Hussein Bojang to the Inspector General of Police. That is unbelievable. There is no legal basis for that. Once bail was granted, bail was processed, and it was now time for them to be released, Hussein Bojang and Ami Bojang. Then the matter, as rightly stated by numerous commentators, is no longer in the hands of the prison authorities. It is no longer in the hands of the IGP. So what the prison authorities, the Director General of Prisons did, and what the IGP did was a violation of the rights of Hussein Bojang. And if indeed Hussein Bojang is minded to file a civil case against them, then both the Director General of Mile 2 and the Inspector General of Police could be joined in that civil suit as defendants for violating his rights, for maliciously detaining him, or maliciously and unlawfully detaining him. Yes. So they can be joined in. They had no right to violate a court order like that. If you look at Section 17 of the Constitution, it's very clear. All arms of government must assist the judiciary in doing its job, the courts in doing its job. That's the law.
So the other question that I have, most people, I know a lot of lawyers who try to avoid capital offense cases. But here was a man who was accused not only of killing an ordinary person, but killing 2 members of the security forces. You did not only take the case, but took it pro bono. What was the driving force behind the thinking to say, you know what, I am going to do this? What was the motivation of the lawyer, Dr. Darboe?
Well, we were not dealing with, as you rightly said, not an ordinary capital offense. We were dealing with a different kind of case that implicates the rule of law in the Gambia. It implicates a lot of other things. Say, for example, the rights of individuals under those extreme conditions. You cannot then abandon that person simply because you believe nobody should kill, service people. Nobody should kill anybody, service people or not. Nobody should kill anybody. But in this particular instance, I said, okay, let me give Hussein the benefit of the doubt, see him in detention at the anti-crime at Banjulunding. Even though in the mornings they transported him, they used to transport him to the airport police station. That was where he was being detained. So I went there just to see your client. The police officers I met, created a brick wall. They said Hussein was not there. I couldn't see him. So I had to get the cooperation of one of the senior police officers. And then he told me Hussein is at the airport police and they would facilitate access to him. So that was how I went to meet him. But once I saw him, I said, no, I'm not looking at a killer here. Let me listen to him, see whether he has something sensible to say. So when I realized that this could really be a case of mistaken identity, then I decided I'll go forward, and I was convinced by his story, and that was the reason why I decided to represent him.
Thank you. Mose.
Yeah, because I was definitely going to ask that question, because like Pasamba said, you took the case because you believed the man was innocent, or did you just take it because every accused needs a lawyer? Were you driven by, after you spoke to him, you said instinctively you didn't see a killer? I don't even know sometimes how you can tell a killer. So you listened to his story. He said, I didn't do this. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to defend this guy. Is that what you're basically saying?
Yes, I didn't believe he did it. I did not at all, at any stage. I didn't believe he did it. I spoke to him. I listened to him. I tried to assess his demeanor. And within reasonable limits, I thought probably, let me give him the benefit of the doubt and represent him. But even at those early stages, and this is something that the rule of law demands, even at those early stages, you know, there are all kinds of roadblocks, you know, not wanting you to speak to Ousseynou and things like that. And it's not Ousseynou alone. It's very difficult to represent people at the police station. You know, these are not enemies. You go through the judicial process. You believe they are wrong. That's fine. Other people believe they are not wrong. Again, that is part of the equation. But we should collaborate. We should cooperate. You must not punish people at those initial stages when you are not sure about what happened. The police should not make up their minds at the rudimentary levels of this kind of dispute, because at the end of the day, it's just a dispute. Yes. So, I mean, that was what I believe in. So I said I was not looking at a killer. Yeah, I was not looking at a killer. I was saying he explained everything to me. I believe him. And the police should have given him that opportunity, because even at the earliest stages, they had Ousseyno's telephone records from AFRICEL. They got the records, and the people that they were inviting for questioning said that they told them, they would ask them, oh, that's your telephone number. You spoke to Ousseynou at this particular point in time. And they will say yes. But AFRICEL, if you want to know whether somebody is at a particular location, they have the ability to give that to you also. But so I believe that you must not go only for the phone record as to the call between two people. You have the capacity to look at the location of the caller and the recipient of the call. Look at those. If they look at those from the onset, they would have known that Ousseynou was nowhere near the Sukuta Jaban traffic light. They know that he was not there, or at least they had the opportunity to inform themselves that Ousseynou was indeed not there, because they could have gone through AFRICEL's location facility. They could have requested that, but that was not done.
So LJ, lots of us, we've been kind of following the case here and there, but there is one fundamental question. Why do you think they were so obsessed with that we got our guy? Even the president said it. Most of them believe that Ousseynou. Why Ousseynou? How? I mean, even if you're looking at it from the political angle, I'm trying to make sense out of it. Why do you think that they believe that Ousseynou is actually the guy that committed the crime?
Well, I think we should ask them that question most. Because why did I say that? I was not looking at the case alone. I was also looking at the external factors. Those external factors, at the very moment this offense was created, were also very, very important for the nation. If not the nation, then at least for the government. At this time, UDP was declared to be a national security threat by the president himself. Not only that, the mandate of ECOMIC was coming to an end. Yes. So were those factors, were those thinkings, as far as the government is concerned? And it's a matter of political opinion. Some people would say, no, it was not. Some people would say, yes, it was. Of course, that is the dichotomy in the whole matter. So not everybody is on the same page as far as the motivations are concerned. But in criminal proceedings, the fact is clear. The onus is on the state to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. So if at that early stages we were still not sure, okay, the trial could continue. The state has somewhat of a reason to arrest under reasonable circumstances and subject the person to prosecution. But when the evidence came in, it was, underwhelming. You know very well that these people got the wrong person. As to the reason why, I don't know. I don't know what the motivation was for the trial itself. But like I said, and the judge was very right, I know, a lot of people supporting the government would say, no, the police did their duty. They investigated within their ability. But I don't believe any sensible investigation was conducted in this case. It was a matter of sometimes, we are in the same profession. We'll be speaking to the police. We'll be speaking to lawyers. They'll say, well, look, we advise our superiors, but they said, no, it's not your problem. Just put it before the courts. And, let's see what happens. And that's not the way you should conduct these things. These are grave offenses. But of course, you are not new to this, Musa. You know very well that wrongful arrest, prosecution, and convictions takes place in even the advanced societies like the United States. Some people are released after 50 years, after 30 years imprisonment. So these things do happen.
Absolutely. But the other two that usually happen, someone can be sent innocent, but pretty much most people would believe that they committed it. I mean, O.J. Simpson's story is out there for everybody. Most people believe that he committed those crimes, but I mean, he was found not guilty. So just because he is found not guilty is because of maybe the prosecutor bundled the case. Is that also a possibility in this case?
Yes, that is a possibility. But in the facts of this case, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. I am not the judge. Yes, I am not the judge. I was ready to appeal this case if the court said Usainu was guilty. I'm ready to go all the way to the Supreme Court because I believe that the evidence that I saw did not in any way indicate Usainu Bojan's guilt. Ami Bojan didn't commit any crime. Her case is a dependent one. If Usainu succeeds, Ami succeeds. If Usainu fails, then Ami fails. So Ami was in no real danger as far as her own personal responsibility for the killing of the police officers was concerned. No, see, nobody accused her of that. So hers was a little difficult, but it was a little strange, but it was entirely dependent on what happened to Usainu.
Absolutely.
LJ, while you were standing in being interviewed after the trial, you made a statement that is still going around, that we know who did this, and some of the witnesses, if I can, just to paraphrase, eyewitnesses, may possibly be the people who did this. Do you have any evidence that the police can use to point to the possible killers of these two people? Or what do you mean by that? Let me just give you a chance to expand on that.
I'm not going to give any evidence to the police. If they are interested in investigating this matter thoroughly, the facts are there. They're very, very clear. All you have to do is look at the record. The record is key here. It will lead you to the perpetrators of this offense. What I said, let me clarify, was that through the trial, and as far as the evidence we got before the court was concerned, we believe, we know, or I believe I know, the people who are responsible. I was in there, but I got access to a lot of the evidence, not all of it, but a lot of it, a lot of the material that was germane as far as the trial was concerned. So I was in no doubt at all, looking at the whole thing objectively. This was revealed in the trial itself. So if you are interested, it is for them to go back to all the prosecution witnesses and decide on what I probably was talking about. I'm not going to help them.
Good. Well, it's not your job. The other question that I have is, you, like Musa said, the political angle of it. We've seen from the very onset, Ibrahim G. Sankare came to Coffee Time, was all excited about all these evidences that they have, and even tried to link Ousseynou Bojang to Yanks Darboe and the UDP. We also had DIG Sow with his coordinates, or whatever they call it, Bravo, whatever, that whole nonsense that they talk about, and all these things that they had. So everybody, we also had the Jeng, Musa's cousin, talking about
no relationship.
Yeah, talking about Casamas rebels and all this nonsense that happened. Now we've had the president come out after Mr. Darboe, Ousseynou Darboe, gave a statement on this matter. And the president pretty much is claiming that Mr. Darboe's hands may not be clean in this claim. How problematic do you think this whole thing is, where this whole case now has been turned into a political clown show, if you want to call it that, mostly from the government?
Well, I think it's entirely from the government. Ibrahim G. Sankare came to court. He didn't deny his statements. What he said was, whatever he said was supplied to him by the Gambia police force. Now, the Deputy Inspector General of Police denied having made statements about Ousseynou being at what's his name again, Yankuba Darboe's trial and all of that. I asked him whether he participated in the investigations. He said no, that's not his responsibility. But he basically denied everything. That was the reason we had to bring and Abu Jeng as well. Abu Jeng, Musa's cousin, as he said. Yes, the National Security Advisor. He remembered nothing. Yes, and if during the course of the hearings, he did say that there was a CCTV, even though he didn't see it himself. I believe my Lord, His Lordship, Honorable Justice Jaite, asked him if there was a CCTV, why don't you bring it so that this thing would be curtailed? The trial would no longer be prolonged, So, but none of that was forthcoming, none of that was forthcoming. So they all denied the statements that they made. That was the reason why we had to bring that press conference from Fatu Network, from Kev Fatu, and from QTV. And after that, I continued the cross-examination of the DIG at the time, Mr. So. And, he just collapsed and said, yes, he said all of those things. So you had a whole Inspector General of Police, Deputy Inspector General of Police, coming and telling us stories about what happened. You know very well they did not happen. You had no evidence. Sankare talked about conspirators who were meeting at a particular mosque, the monies that were given to the killer. And none of that evidence came true. Okay. And then also, this is something that people should be very aware of. Don't give statements to the police when you are alone with them, unless you are absolutely certain of what you are doing. Say, Epa Samba, Musa Jeng, nobody can bamboozle those people. But if you are somebody who is not, really au fait with the way the police operate, you need to be very careful. And let me tell you what happened in Ousseynou case. Ousseynou was asked to give his name. He gave his name, where he was born, his parents, what his job was, and all of that. So that came from Ousseynou. There was no question about it. But the statement that was then written for him didn't come from Ousseynou. That came from the imagination of the police itself to fit the narrative that the UDP was behind this.
Wow.
Yes. And why do we believe that was what happened? There was no evidence, no corroborative evidence was brought before the court. So you have a statement, there was no question about the preliminaries and who said them. But there was immense doubt about the rest of the story. If the state was able to corroborate that the UDP was indeed behind this, and that Usenu was just there to carry out the assignment on behalf of the UDP, then obviously it would create a lot of confusion. But you got these statements, and you refuse to bring any other evidence that would independently be verified by the court and by the country that indeed Usenu could have been working for the UDP. Yes. So what are you relying on? You are just relying on the biological details. The biological details, the biographical details, that is the name, where he hailed from, his parents. That's all true. We know the police would not know that. The police cannot know that. But that is where the police tricks come into play. So I do not advise anybody who is not highly educated, who does not understand what is going on, to give statements to the police without a friend, a family member, or in the final analysis, a lawyer. You know, a lawyer, that would be the last stage of it. But make sure you have a friend or a family member who can be the independent witness, who can witness this thing happening, so that there is no question tomorrow about what you said and what you didn't say. But think about it, Pasamba. Under the Anti-Terrorism Act, if you arrest Usenu, whatever statement he made must be made in written, in video form. That is the mandate. That is what should I say? That is the demand of the legislation. The legislation said there must be a video recording of that confession. They didn't do it. They didn't do any video recording, even for the other charges. So they know what they were doing from the onset.
I just wanted to, Mose, if you allow me, a follow-up.
Yeah.
Because what you said here, most people may not know that they have the right not to answer any questions without the presence of a lawyer. Even people that are educated sometimes will get excited and just start talking. Is it a law? Do I have a right as an arrested person to say I'm not going to say anything until I have my lawyer present? Because you don't want to.
You can say you don't want to say anything, even with a lawyer present. Yeah, even with a lawyer, the lawyer being present, the guarantee there is they cannot now say he said it when a lawyer is sitting. They cannot say he said it when your family member is sitting. They cannot say you said it when a friend is sitting. You know, they cannot do that. And you have a right, the right to silence, the right to not say anything. Your Miranda warning in the United States, right. They read that to you, or they are supposed to read it to you. But most of the time, they don't bother reading that to you. Yes, to say that you don't have to say anything. But whatever you say can or may be used against you. You must read that to people. But our jurisprudence is not developed in that aspect. Because in the US, it's mandatory. You have to do it, especially when you are under police custody. Those are different conditions. If you are sitting there under those conditions, then your rights spring into action to protect you. Whether the police are willing to do it or not, it's up to them. But once it is realized that they did it without the presence of, somebody like a family member, a friend, a lawyer, then obviously you can look at it. Our Evidence Act said that, those people there must be an independent witness. Sometimes there are no independent witnesses. And they will say there was an independent witness. Yeah. Sometimes they'll make a mistake. The independent witness section would not be signed by anybody. Of course, if you put that before a court, it'll be excluded. It will not be allowed to come into the trial as evidence.
Thank you.
So, yes, but the whole thing, Pasamba, is also the fact that Gambians like convenience too much. One police officer would come and tell you, look, it's not a big deal. Give us a statement. This is nothing. You know, we just want a statement and we'll let you go. And then, foolish me, I'll give them the statement. And they'll say, okay, you confess to the crime.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't give them a statement if you don't want to. Speak to somebody who can counsel you. It doesn't have to be a lawyer, but speak to somebody who is not a member of the armed forces, a member of the police, you know, not a uniform member in any way, including immigration. Yeah. Speak to somebody and don't rely on those people. Don't rely on them. They will not guarantee your right, and you will remain in police custody until your 72 hours lapsed, and then you'll be granted bail. But you would have confessed to something you didn't do. Yeah, people think that's not possible, but it can happen. It can.
So, LJ,
Yeah.
I heard you said that going through the case, you pretty much know who the people are, or at least you have an idea who committed the crime. Because let's be honest too, you said, I'm not going to help them. This is not us against them. 2 police officers get slaughtered and another one get maimed. Don't you think, in as much as you are defending Usainu, that you owe it to the Gambian people to go to the police and say, look, I think this is where you guys should look? Or do you think do that?
I understand where you are coming from, but I'm not going to help the police in that regard.
Why not?
Let me expand on it. I believe that if I can, through the evidence that was placed before the court, if I can have that that really very strong belief that we know who were responsible for this, I think they do have the information themselves.
Or they have
do. Yeah, I think they do. Yes, I think they do. There are some very clever people there. Let them go through the evidence. The police now has many lawyers, and some of them are brilliant. Yes, some of them are brilliant. All you have to do is, you know, it's a command system. If you are allowed to look at it, look at it. Or you can go and, you know, ask for the record and go through it yourself, and you'll begin to see what happened. I know I know that I'm not the only one who came to that conclusion.
So there is something else that you said. You said there was a confession from Usainu, or at least that's what the prosecuting team said, that they had a confession. You're saying the only thing that you believe was his name, where he was born. Everything else, you said they cooked it up. Right? In other words,
yes, I do.
Confession came out of Usainu. I mean, because for me, this is not about education. If I did not kill 2 cops, I don't care how much a police officer can say, then we can let you go. I am not going to go there and say, you know what, I killed these 2 people. And this is the reason for me doing it. In that confession said, did Usainu say that he had anything to do with it? According to, the prosecuting team, that this was the confession. But for technical reason, the judge is not buying it. But was there a confession from Usainu saying that, Mom, he had something to do with it?
Well, if you are looking at a valid confession, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Usainu did not say that. But Musa, if you said, I said that the UDP made me do this, my friend, you can bring independent evidence to that effect. Yeah. Why did they not bring independent witnesses to confirm, to corroborate that, yes, Usainu said this? Why did they not do that? Yeah. The police officer who took this, for whatever reason, you know, they refuse to bring evidence. You can make a statement, but you have to corroborate it. You said the UDP made me do this. But there is no evidence, no corroborative evidence to say that, to confirm, to allay the fears of people that the UDP was indeed behind this. There was nothing. That is incumbent on the police to bring it, or at the very least, give us the opportunity to look at that confession in video form. That did not happen. Video form, Musa. You had the mouth to yourself.
Absolutely.
That's central to your case, pretty much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would have been the end of the matter. Nobody would waste time. All we can do is, maybe come to court and do mitigation on his behalf. That's all we could do. Because it would be there, plain. Yes. Even that, we have to go behind it. We have to try to understand whether there are other circumstances leading to his confession that anybody outside the interrogation room or the room where that confession took place, nobody outside would have understood exactly what happened. But this was exactly the reason, Musa, that you have the Miranda rights in the United States.
Absolutely.
The Miranda rights are specifically placed in the Constitution so that police officers and law enforcement officers would not commit egregious offenses against people they arrest and are under their detention. Powerless, hostile environment of the police cells. That was the reason why the Sixth Amendment came into play, so that people can be protected at all levels.
Thank you very much, LJ. Bob Samba.
No, we have.
Welcome on board, bro. You're looking pretty dapper today. What's up?
He is.
I took my brother's, the chief podcaster for Dialectic Space. Today is his naming ceremony. So I have to represent. And I said, I need to sit in for the people by the people. So I'm taking his spot today. So, well, Mr. Darboe, thank you very much for joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Darren. Thank you. I'm grateful.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah.
Musa is trying to defend his friends here.
That's what I thought, but no worries, Darboe. We're gonna have a good conversation.
Dr. Darboe, we've seen numerous occasions where, let's say, the Nene Frida Gomez case, where she went to court, there was a ruling on her behalf, the government refused to honor that ruling. We've seen LJ Bora of Kerfatu. There was a ruling in his favor where they were supposed to compensate him, give him back his phone up to the time I'm speaking. My information is they have not given it back to him. We've also seen Pamodu Bojang, who also won a case, and they refused to also honor that thing. Do you think that this government has demonstrated any willingness to accept, of course, the Usainu Bojang case is another case, by all these standards? Does this government respect the judiciary or respects the decisions made by the judiciary in that country?
Well, it's a constitutional mandate. Like I said earlier, Section 17 of the Constitution, it is incumbent on the executive arm of government and all other arms of government to ensure that the decisions of the court are enforced, and they are to assist. The judiciary has no police officers. It cannot do any of these things without the assistance of the executive arm of government, mainly, because it's usually the executive arm of government that is in these troubles, with people's rights and things like that. But we must not joke with people's rights. It is incumbent on all of us to ensure that these things happen. But yes, the situations you mentioned, Nena Freda, Alaji Bora, Pamodu Bojang, and others demonstrate clearly the unwillingness of this government to ensure that the rule of law, because this is the heart of the rule of law, that the rule of law thrives in our country. And sometimes, they approach these things with real anger, insulting people for saying the government should do this and that. I don't understand that. Yeah, there is no anger in this. This is not about the president. It is not about the president's supporters. It is about the Gambia as an entity. Yes, that we all own. We all own. What the president is wearing is public clothing. This is not his clothes that he is wearing. The mantle of the presidency is placed on him and given to him by the people of the Gambia. So if the president can say, things like he was the one who killed the lion, these things are meaningless statements and they are baseless. Yes. Pasamba, me, I was so worried about the president's security that I told Suntu too. I said, Suntu, you better tell, if you are close to these transitional leaders, you better tell them to let the president go out of the country, because we are approaching a major constitutional crisis. If anything happened to the president-elect, the elections are going to be held again. This is not like the United States. There was no running mate. So if the president, anything happened to him, obviously the only thing, if he died, let me just say the word, if he died, then obviously there will be no president-elect. The elections would have been run. And when that happens, Yahya Jammeh would win the election.
No doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. So I said, tell these people to allow the president to leave. This is not cowardice. Today, after all the political breakups and everything, some people would say, he was a coward. He was sworn out of the Gambia. He ran out and all of that. That was the national security of the Gambia been cemented right there by the president leaving the country and making it impossible for the president-elect to suffer any harm. Yeah.
Hey, Pasamba, I see that Atlanta is getting represented at Dingente. Brother Habib, you representing us. Congratulations to Ibrahim Sonko.
Saying hello to you.
Hey,
Habib.
Before I even say anything, I just want to congratulate LJ Darboe. What a wonderful job. I mean, you guys are the pride of our country. Just like what is happening here in the United States, you keeping them straight. The law is keeping them straight. And we pray for you guys for a very, very long life and good health. And we look forward to seeing you in the ballot this end of the year.
Thank you.
Now you're talking.
Go ahead, Musa.
I was going to say, he is going to be on the ballot with some folks. We're going to make it happen.
Now, don't get Brother Sari and started.
And that's how it's going to go, Brother Habib.
I need to say hi to my brother, Bob.
If you want a country like the United States, look, people say the United States this and this. I said, look, I too studied the United States and the United Kingdom. Yes, they may be imperialists and neo-colonialists and all that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to their domestic affairs, they're afraid of their electorate. Yes. That is the central heartland of the rule of law. Mm-hmm. That's what we want. We want leaders on the ballot in 2026 who have the ability to understand how to build a system. We need system builders in 2026. This is not going to be business as usual. Come and vote for me and I'll be this. No. Show us who you are. Correct. Going back 10, 15, 20 years ago. Yes. That's what we believe in. Show us your record.
Yep.
So but anyway, let's go back to...
Yeah. Show us who you are. Mr. Darboe, Dr. Darboe, like I tell people, that you are one person who has never had a problem taking your own lane, even if it is the most lonely lane.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was Indira Gandhi who said there were two groups of people: the people who do the work and the people who take the credit. And she said, if you're joining any, join the first one because it's always the loneliest.
It is.
You've watched, in fact, you've said in one of your interviews that you were at one point, in fact, approached to serve as Minister of Interior. But in your true belief of the rule of law, you turn it down because of you have dual citizenship.
Yes.
You are a legal mind. We know you to be somebody who loves the law, who loves interpreting the laws, who loves taking very inconvenient positions. Do you believe, by any stretch of imagination, given all the things that we have, Yakumba Jaiti case, all these cases, the Auditor General, which is being litigated, we cannot talk about it according to your Gambian laws and others, unlike here. Do you think the president is being properly advised legally?
Well, it depends. It depends because the presidency is a big office, and he has the right to relieve you of your appointment at any time he wants. So obviously, you tread very gingerly under those circumstances. The advisors. We're talking about the ministers here. Have you had any minister resign on the Barrow? I don't think so. Yeah. You know, you are either fired or you are silently told to go, and you go. Yeah, the ministerial positions are very attractive to Gambians, but I believe that the president is getting angry about a lot of things, and we saw in the media about a few days ago that the Minister of Justice was summoned to the State House over the acquittal of Senou Bojang and his sister. Well, you know, did they advise him? Did they tell him that there was no evidence? Yeah. Did they tell him that only a crazy judge would convict Senou Bojang and Annie Bojang? Yeah, they should have told him. And then they probably could have gone to the drawing board and to identify the real killers, if indeed they were interested in that. My feeling is that they were not interested in finding the real killers. Yes. We were trying to address, you know, a political situation that was developing in the country at the time. The prospect of Economic leaving the Gambia was unimaginable to the president at that time. So those were the motivations. Yeah. So whatever happens, really, yeah, this thing could have been an authentic crime. It could have been, but I'm not sure. But even if it was not Senou Bojang who did it. He was not there. He was not there. Yes. I went through the telephone records. I even asked some of the witnesses where they were, you know, at particular times. Yeah. And we got all that on record. It was never denied. These people had the you know, the best counsels, the support of government lawyers. So if they are not there, if they didn't, if their phone records were not correct, obviously they would have been able to say that they didn't defend themselves. So, yeah, I don't think the president is getting the advice he wants. He is getting all the flattery he needs, but not the advice. And that's what our leaders want. Flattery, people telling you nonsense, how you look, what a humanitarian you are, and all of that. We don't want that. We want you to look at the president in his eye and say, look, let's not go down that route. Yes. But this is not a common thing in the Gambia. That's why I say I wouldn't serve a president who is not democratic, because I wouldn't be able to do my job. Yeah. So I'm not going to go into the cabinet just to have my big cars and these stupid travels and the per diems and all of that. I'm not interested in those things. If I cannot do my job, then I wouldn't want to serve in your government.
Brother Maron.
Sarian.
Oh, we're gonna split it. Habib is gonna have one question. Habib. Feel free. Ask Lawyer Darboe, please.
Lawyer Darboe, again. Very good to see you.
Thank you.
Now, my question is, not being a copycat, why can't the Bar Association or the group of lawyers there do like they're doing here, individually sue the government for some of their mishaps, like trying to get a balanced budget, try to allocate funds in a proper manner, some of the laws that they are willfully just disregard for the rule of law. How come the Bar Association or some of these lawyers, or how they call them, how come they can't sue them? How come the ordinary citizens can't go out? Civil society, exactly. That's what I thank you, Saria. And sue the government, so at least we can have a little bit of check and balances.
Okay, some civil society, you have one of them sitting next to you there on the panel. He was in at least 2 or 3 cases, say for example, the judgment that said that, Gambians based abroad, have a right to vote, and of course the latest one was the case that was brought to the Supreme Court very recently over the budget last year. The Supreme Court actually decided that the budget was late and that the government was wrong, and we have a problem with some of our high-ranking policy people understanding the dictates of the rule of law. I mean, a minister came to the High Court and was protesting about why his name was included in the judgment. Can you imagine that? It's not your name, it's your position. Okay. Yes, we didn't sue anybody by name, but if you happen to be the Minister of Justice, if you happen to be the Minister of Interior, and you are sued in that capacity, it is not you, it is the position. Yes, but some people take it personally. They think their name being mentioned was itself a travesty of their rights. Can you imagine things like that happening? When those people are in conclave in the cabinet, imagine what kind of decisions they would be making. Yes, you try to read the mood of the president. Would he be happy with me if I said this? Would he be angry with me if I say this? Mm-hmm. Trying to guess what the president wants you to say. What kind of an advisor are you? Yes. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Mr. Darboe, thank you very much for joining us today. And, when I read, I believe a couple of days that the police wanted to summon you to go answer, and you said, they'd rather come and arrest me, but I'm not going to answer to them. I kind of think about your days being a magistrate in Brikama, where, the dictatorship was at peak, and you refused to bow down. You execute the law, yes. And to our late Imam Karamo Toure. But several things stand out to me. And we all were silent because we wanted to give the opportunity for the case to proceed forward. But a couple of things, when the police leadership had their press conference, and according to DG So, he says this is a great ordinance, and it's well accepted, and it is well executed by military. And he said, quotes, that I was also there, and I wrote these down, and I was like, okay, maybe, I might help here. And so I followed the train, and I think you kind of highlight that a little bit, where you said you requested records from AfriCell. But how did that play out in your case? Because I know Joe Jete, hit hard on the alibi, saying the government did a poor job in countering your alibis and saying Usainu, where they claim Usainu was at and where you came and counter, you did an effective job. And I can tell you this. In fact, I was like, maybe I'm rusty in plotting the charts and knowing where these Greek continents are, but they were way off. And I have evidence about that. That what DG So was saying is very inconsistent, and it's actually not true. That where he's claiming that the accused was going and Dimbaya and all that stuff. But how did that play into? And also the shoes. Obviously, if someone's gonna put someone and kill, and that individual in his back of the mind is the first thing or the first instance will be to escape at an instant moment. So why would a person leave traces of, like, particularly a shoe that wouldn't fit on the individual shoe?
If it don't fit, acquit.
So I just kind of want you to kind of explain to us what was going in your mind and how you lay out to counter that argument and be able to convince the judge that what in fact they are saying is inconsistent with what the evidence shows.
Well, it was a spectacular day in court. That day was really, really fantastic. When after we listened to the records from these three news outlets, Fatu Network, Kerfatu, and QTV, we read it. Everybody was listening to it. And we asked DG So if that was him in the video. And he said that was him. I said, you heard all you said? He said, yes. I said, okay. Was Usainu? What's Usainu the person you were referring to? He basically collapsed. It was a painful day, really. A Deputy Inspector General of Police. And here you are, admitting that you fabricated stories against people. All these rubbish about coordinates, the tango, the this and that. Nobody understood it, and he couldn't explain anything. A Deputy Inspector General of Police, courageous enough to fabricate evidence against an innocent citizen. Yes. So the whole thing collapsed. Yeah.
So, LJ.
Yes.
Well, I have to say this. If it don't fit, acquit.
I was in the United States when that happened. Yeah, that was So LJ.
Yeah.
Acquit, you got. There was something else that you say. You had an issue with the DPP being a foreigner. I mean, for someone like you, that you've been an immigrant, not only in the United States, but in England, and for you to come and say something like that, people will say, wait a minute, this is about the law. Whether it's foreigner or Gambian, what difference does it make? What do you mean by that?
Musa, think about it this way. Musa is not a citizen of the Gambia. Basamba is a citizen of the Gambia. I am a citizen of the Gambia. Habib and Sarian are citizens of the Gambia. We are as good as the DPP, maybe better. Why would our country go outside, leave all those competent nationals, and then go and take a foreigner from Nigeria, to come and be a DPP, supervising people who are better than you? But the whole point is even more compelling. The argument is even more compelling. These are constitutional positions. Mm-hmm. It's a constitutional position, the position of DPP. You are supposed to be independent. But of course, the Constitution engages in doublespeak. It stated clearly in the Constitution that the DPP is under the supervision of the Attorney General. A DPP should not be under the supervision of the Attorney General. It's an independent prosecuting position. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice in the Gambia is a political position. Yes, it is a political position. You are answerable to the Minister of Justice. The Minister of Justice is answerable to the President in politically charged cases. In politically charged cases, you are not going to be able to do the right thing most of the time. We've seen DPPs before because they knew they are going. They knew, okay, I can do things and disappear. You can do things and disappear. A Gambian DPP will not disappear.
LJ,
yeah.
Listen until it's clearly stipulated that the DPP, position of a DPP has to be a Gambian. If that is not the case, yes, one should follow meritocracy. So I'm saying if this person fulfills all that, but you're saying just because he's a foreigner, because look, you can have a Gambian DPP who can be equally corrupt, a Gambian DPP who can be equally compromised. So just being a foreigner doesn't mean that this person is not fit for purpose. That's my argument.
No, Musa. Musa, let's look at this pragmatically. I know you are playing the devil here. I am not interested in, say, for example, excluding people because of their nationality. You are very right. I was in the United States. I was in the UK. I'm a citizen of the UK. Yes. So, I was more than happy to do what I needed to do for the country. But there's a history here. This is not an isolated statement that I am making. Yes, the DPPs in the Gambia were very hostile to the rights, the political rights especially, of Gambian people during the dictatorship. Yeah, they had no compunction in doing whatever they have to do to hold on to, their packs, like, for example, vehicles. You have your homes, you have your travels, you have your conferences to attend and everything, all expenses paid. Even if the DPP is in the Gambia on technical assistance from Nigeria, and some of them were, even if that is the case, I am saying for a country that is a developing democracy, for a country that is not a full democracy, a country where people are looking at what their bosses want rather than to do the right thing, I think the best remedy would be for us. We've seen what the DPP did in this case. So the best remedy would be for you to have a DPP who will be in the country 10, 20 years from now, barring the acts of divinity. And then, we look at each other and say, were you proud of what you did in this case, in this case, in that case? If I'm going to be oppressed, I want my fellow Gambian like Musa Jeng to oppress me. That time, I can pursue you and fight you and make sure you are punished for your wrongdoing. A foreign DPP will go back to his country.
Right.
Leave us with big regrets. We don't want a DPP who is not Gambian, coming here and persecuting our people. That was where I was coming from. Yes.
Yeah,
We don't want a foreigner in the position. No.
Yeah.
Okay, I respect that, even though I'm not convinced.
Yeah, and just to be clear, because I saw somebody saying that even in the United States here, there is a Gambian judge. You cannot be a judge in the United States if you are not a citizen of the United States, whether through birth or naturalization. So let's not start mixing apples and oranges, especially from a country that has had the history of merciless judges who were brought from abroad, came and abused our people, pack their things and leave. That's the issue. But here
Gambians were doing it too as well. If you're
Gambians, no. I'm not doubting that. But what I'm saying here is
involved in stifling and participating.
I am not doubting that. But the core issue here is, oh, you cannot make that stay. We even have Gambians in other positions, or Gambian here, a judge. We're talking about Sadio Barrow. Sadio Barrow is a citizen of the United States.
No,
No. Can I finish? You cannot. Sadio Barrow would not have been a judge in the United States here, anywhere close to the judiciary, if he was not a citizen of the United States of America. That is an irrefutable.
Right, Samba. Just like Salim is saying, you have a deputy IG, a Gambian, fabricating evidences to prosecute another Gambian with capital. So for me, being a foreigner or being a Gambian should not be the issue. It's about meritocracy.
And I respect that. I
Doing
respect that. I think,
Musa,
Musa, mine was not to you.
come now.
My party, who is high on defending anything Barrow, was the one who invoked a Gambian judge here. And what I wanted to set the record straight here, no one in the United States will be an officer of the, would be sworn in as a judge if you're not a citizen of the United States.
Yeah.
But the question that I wanted to ask Dr. Darboe, which is more serious, is you've mentioned this issue about the DPP being answerable to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, that the DPP must be independent. There is this argument that we need to decouple the Attorney General separated from the Ministry of Justice, because one is entirely political, even though we see it here in the United States, where now the Attorney General, is on the whims and caprices of Trump. If Trump tells you go and try somebody, you'll be fired. But do you think it is high time for the Gambia to have the Attorney General, like we have the, you have lawyers here who run for office, and there is nothing that the president can do to them. But is it important to separate the Attorney General's office from the Ministry of Justice, where the ministry would be advising the president entirely on legal issues, and the Attorney General will be responsible for prosecution of cases and all other matters?
Yes, that's what we need to do. But the most important, that's the pragmatic aspect of it. The DPP is a key position. It must stand alone, independent, like in Rwanda. Rwanda is a country that, it's a very young country. If you look at it from the perspective of what happened in the country, as just a mere 30-something years ago. Yes, Rwanda has a completely separate office for the Director of Public Prosecutions. It is completely different separated from the political arm of government. So you are not answerable to an Attorney General. You are not answerable to a Minister of Justice. You are just there, an independent office, and you have the authority to recommend and conduct the prosecution of anybody within the country, including the president. Now, when it comes to the president, I know it will be a little bit problematic, but you have that authority to try anybody within the country, if indeed there is a reason to do so. Our DPP cannot do that. He's subject to the control of the Attorney General. It's clearly stated in the Constitution, even though at some points they would say the DPP is independent and all that stuff. It's not. It's not an independent position.
The other question that I have is, since you put your hand in the race, trying to get the flag bearership of the UDP now with Gano, the government officials, including even President Barrow, have started insinuating that maybe the only reason why you have interest in taking this case is because you have a political ambition.
Well, this case came in 2023.
No. My question is,
yes,
to those that may not know you, your history and what you stand for, does political ambition ever have anything to do with decisions that you make when it comes to representation in court?
No, not at all. Not at all. Say, for example, when I was a magistrate, I could have looked the other way, because there are real possibilities that you could be punished for doing your job during those periods. Yeah. When I represented Imam Karamo Toure, when I took the case of Imam Karamo Toure and Wajwara and others, I was working for the government. I was a magistrate. Yes. So I think my prospects would have been improved if temporarily by doing what the government wanted me to do. Because at that time, obviously, the government had a big interest in that matter, in the matter of the Imam of Berkama and Wajwara. But look, political ambition for political office, as far as I am concerned, has nothing to do with what I'm doing. Pasamba, I'm not somebody who just went to school and studied law for 3 years, then do the bar and become a lawyer. No. I studied in the United States. In fact, I studied history and politics and philosophy. Those were my backgrounds as far as education is concerned. And that history was what I studied when I was at the Gambia High School 6th form. So my interest in the rule of law and justice has nothing to do with political office. Political office, as far as I am concerned. Like I said, if I want to serve in the cabinet, I could have served in the cabinet a long time ago. But that's not my interest. My interest is the Gambia, a Gambia where every Gambian is equal. You, as Musa used it, that word is what they use, the conservative type of people, meritocracy. I believe in meritocracy. I believe in that. But Musa is using that just to fight. Yeah. So for me, that is the point. I am in this really not because I'm running for political office. No. Musa, go back to 1992. I know you were supporting the PPP in 1992. I was not supporting the PPP. I was writing against the PPP as far back as 1992. I won the PPP in 1993. That unless it changes its way, given the geopolitical realities in West Africa and Africa in general, the government was going to be overthrown, and it was overthrown. So interest in public affairs, I don't know how I got that interest, but it was with me since at high school. Remember, high school, I won the first prize globally in an essay competition organized by an agency of the United Nations. And my article was on politics, the attack on the Israeli Olympians in 1972 in Munich, Germany. That was what I wrote about. That was a long time ago. So I've been interested in public affairs for a very, very long time. It has nothing to do with office. But if, for example, I happen to win this case in an election year, why not? You milk it. And so, as a political strategist, if I am your candidate, you will market that Musa. So absolutely. No, I have no interest in it because of political office. Absolutely. No.
Absolutely.
Political office has no bearing on what I do.
Father Mose, just to let you know, today you are out of uniform, okay? You are, and Brother Habib told me I need to write you up because you're giving all this hard time to coach, but you are out of uniform as well, I'm
out of uniform.
What's that hat all about? What's that hat?
Oh, the hat? The future is ours? Is there anything wrong with that?
And I hear you're giving LJ a hard time about
Bro, LJ Agman, according to the Wolofs, no far. I wouldn't make it as possible.
Coach, just to let you know, Brother Habib said Musa Jeng is out of uniform. So he's giving you all this hard time. Yeah, so but LJ.
No, he's on mute. He doesn't
Money.
even...
He said the future is what? Is us. I was thinking the future was for the young ones, not these old people. You know, having the same time already. You know, Musa's generation is
so you wanna because my generation is LJ's generation.
No. You're older than LJ. You were there and younger.
But you guys are on the different wavelength. Though.
My roommate, I can tell you that
So Brother LJ, my question to you is,
yes,
based on everything that you learned up to, I got youngsters over here. So yeah, they're screaming about a goal. So but up to today, what lessons have you learned, about our judicial system, and also how we go about these cases? Because this is very, very important. When I look at the young man Usenu, he's been incarcerated for 2.5 years. The emotional toll, psychological toll that took on him and his family. There you are, they acquitted him. And but what lessons since the beginning up to the end? What have you learned, and what advice would you have for other folks who might be vulnerable to such occurrence in the future?
Well, just insist that you will not be talking to the police. They don't have to make you give a statement to them. They don't have to insist on that. So the Constitution protects your right not to give any statement if you don't want to. But if the police are going to give statements, if you're going to give statements to the police, or if the police are bent on taking statements from you, then make sure you have somebody there to protect your right. Make sure they take your video recording, so that we can eliminate all these problems. It's just like the body cam system in the US. It's your word against the word of the police. So the system comes up, with something that would protect everybody. It would protect the police, the security officers. It would protect the person, in the net of the police. So that would be better for everybody. Don't just go and talk to the police without protection. I believe the pace of the case is somewhat fast, really, by Gambian standards, because some of these cases, they take a very long period of time. 2.5 years is really long, but the case was progressing. The material that came in was too much, and we don't have dedicated trials. Like, for example, in the UK, this wouldn't take more than maybe 3 months, because there'd be a dedicated window for the trial, and you have to try and complete the trial within that period. So, but as far as independence of the judiciary is concerned, the judiciary is independent now. If you do anything wrong, then it's because you either made a mistake or that was a choice you made. Yes, I'm not aware of some of the things that happened, some 15, 20 years ago. Those are no longer our realities. Yes, because a case like this, I don't know whether a verdict like this is possible some few years ago. But yes, even during those very difficult moments, judges would acquit and discharge. It's just the general climate that was hostile to independence. Either independent thinking within the courts, independent thinking within the public sphere, independent thinking generally is frowned upon. But right now we're in a good place. We are in a good place.
So, Mr. Darboe, in the glimpse of what has transpired, we obviously see some of the behaviors of our security officers when Hussein was arrested. What would you say in terms of security sector reform? Because always they say it's in progress, but the posture, the escalation of those personnel kind of give me a pause, and it kind of brings me, when I see those, it kind of reminds me of the Jammeh days, instead of this de-escalation and escalation. What would be your advice in terms of security sector reform?
Well, security sector reform would depend on system change. This government has an opportunity to effectuate it, to ensure that it happens. Remember, we are in the 10th year of President Barrow. Security sector reform did not take place because the culture is still the same. Yes, in terms of education, a lot of police officers are now highly educated. They are lawyers and all of that. But the real heights of authority within the security services are still people who were schooled in the old culture. They are steeped in that culture up to now. So you need to get them out of the way, retire them, and then bring in reforms that could be implemented by some of the youngsters now coming up. The willingness is not there to reform the security services. That willingness is not there. Yeah, it's a politically difficult situation, but we are told that the security services are under civilian control. So does it work for the incumbent president? I don't know, but maybe that's a possibility. It works for him. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to have the last round of questioning, LJ. It's always interesting to have you on For the People, by the People. And hey, our partners, we can't forget about them. Global Properties. Maybe, LJ, winning the case, you should go talk to Nyan to try and get one of those apartments. I bet you deserve one of them.
No deposit, flexible payment plans, and lots of discounts. Get your Lakeview apartment today.
So, LJ.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to let you leave without really talking politics.
Okay.
I would say we've been talking politics all along, but there was sort of me and law, we don't mix. The only law I ever did was business law. All I wanted was a C just to move it on. So,
okay. So all right.
6-7 months, really, you're in the middle of it. You are no longer a bystander like us. We want change. Most people believe that Barrow is beatable, but they will also tell you, in the absence of finding a way to come together, it ain't gonna happen. What are you doing to make sure that coming together can be a reality in your own, without getting into the details? First of all, do you buy into the idea that we have to come together to defeat him? And if that is the case, what steps are you really taking to make sure that we find a cohesive unit that can be formidable against the current president?
Yes, I believe that we need to come together, definitely, to compete competently against the incumbent. Now, the Gambia is not necessarily a rule of law jurisdiction. Yes, to some extent, yes. But when it comes to organizing ourselves to ensure that fairness is across the board in our system, that during elections and things like that, particularly, that is not there. The incumbent has a real opportunity to marshal the resources of the state to his own advantage. We don't have those capacities. So we need to come together. There is no doubt about that. We need to come together. We need to sit and negotiate. Yes, I know these negotiations
Mungi freeze. Pop Samba.
Yeah. It's the Gunjur internet.
You would want to say it's the Baro internet.
No. He has promised. He promised Birkama nakala free Wi-Fi. Birkama is still waiting on that. So,
Badu.
Yeah, boy Fatih we forget because no boy Fatih we talked about Ibrahim Adiba. I know that's what you're talking about when a movement of Jah people. We've already talked about that, man. You came late, so that's your issue. Yeah. I'm not the NPP guys are licking your wounds, thinking, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a Dr. Darboe mom is always a joy to talk to.
Yeah. Stala. I guess him a little bit.
No. You always have to talk about your politics. So you know what, you cannot live without it.
We'll have to.
Yeah, but my estimation, Musa, if I were President Barrow, I would really sit back and look at, because Hamgalan mo gonna dangerous. Now you have this situation that is now pitting young Gambians against the security forces.
Yeah,
that is not good anyway in any country. You also have these mishaps, cases that are brought in that maybe if you had done your due diligence, they would not have been brought in the first place. And some of these constitutional missteps, these are basic. Our constitutions are not the most difficult thing to understand. These are basic things, Man,
I seriously do believe me. First of all, I mean, the Attorney General might be very smart. Maybe he knows the law, but I don't think he has spine.
No, you have to be decisive.
You can be easily, what I would say, you can be easily overtaken by advisors that are very political and maybe much more closer to the president. You know what I mean? But as an Attorney General, like we were saying the other day, if Tambedu was the Attorney General, I think the advice would have been different and said, Mr. President, I think you're making a huge mistake. So that's the kind of Attorney General you need, like LJ Darboe, for instance. If he were the Attorney General advising the president, now you're going to compete against the Demba Sabalis, you're going to compete against the Sidin Jais, you're going to compete against some of these guys that are very, very political. All they see is the prism of politics. And their focus was, you know what? Let's put it on UDP, no matter what it takes. Problem. And that was the focus. You being the legal guy, you should be able to say, you know what? Let's step back. Show me the evidence before you even begin.
And you know who used to do that? If you've read Asan Jallo's book,
yes.
So many times where they would take a position this thing, and then the president will summon him and say, well, what's the legal this thing? No, Mr. President. Jawara would debate it, but at the end of the day, what stands? Asan Jallo's. Because first of there is a reason why the Constitution is very specific. That the Attorney General and Minister of Justice must be somebody who is legally trained. You have to be a lawyer. It's not like about Boy Fatih. I like Boy Fatih. Make him. No. It has to be somebody.
Correct.
Because the decisions that you make are a lot more consequential than any other one. Because any other one can. Because look at this: is what happened. The government touts its human rights record.
Yes.
You fire tear gas on people. This old man who was minding his business got hit by it, unconscious or whatever. they will report one time that he died, then they know he's not dead. And if that person had died, who would have been responsible for the death? The state. Because state agents acted that way. You know, so this is why it is
arming the activists. They'll be using that at every turn to
using it rightly so.
To question the rule of law of the country. But again, I think he's back because bring
him back so that we can do it. You can just do one question so that
because the boys are gathering here and the noise is getting louder and louder.
I understand.
Benakino and Subo. I love Subo.
LJ,
yes,
I think kind of sidestep, answer the question a little bit. I know that talks are going on. Apex is doing what Apex is doing. Some of us from the outside, and as much as I know their intention, some are saying, you know what, they're hitting a wall. Because hitting a wall, when you have Mama Kande is not participating in the Apex, Doi is not participating in the Apex, and Apex goal is something comprehensive. That tells me that might not be a viable path of bringing these people together. I wish it were, but it doesn't look like it. You are participating in the Apex. I mean, I know maybe you don't want to say anything about that, but again, you agree that we need to come together.
Yes, I do.
Yes. I mean, how is that going to happen, you think, realistically? And what are you going to do about it in terms of making that to happen?
Well, we are speaking to potential partners because, yes, there is the Apex system. There are probably other systems as well. But we believe we can approach each other individually also. And
it's frozen. I know this is the Barrow guys. They don't really want us to talk about this. They're not too crazy.
Yeah. As soon as you mentioned politics, like their internet started going.
Winning formula. I just wanted to remind Dr. Darboe this. See Mwala. For the past 18 months, we've been talking about it. It doesn't look like the needle has moved a lot. Let LJ, NUP, right? UMC, Esam by Fall. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. Kande, Tabah Rewmi. The smaller parties, let them come together and form a core group. And let's call it the third force. And let's go get them. Amun time. Time on Saturday. You wait another 3-4 months, we will be going it alone. And if that happens, Barrow will be re-elected. Monday Lola Gomde, and you get Sariang Marong Fi, Nega Fi Dima, this.
Yeah, well, but you know, what do you mean Barrow is going to win? With everything happening, this is the man who went after someone the court has acquitted and discharged, and he wanted to throw that country into chaos. And I pray that people don't forget that. I hope the youths go and register in numbers and vote against the status quo.
They will forget it. All of it, they will forget it. Look.
That's why you need to amplify your voice, Fadamos.
That's what I'm doing. He will be defeated.
Not be playing some devil's advocate here and be pessimistic about the outcome of Apex. I think that's why you need to convince.
I am not.
Do what you can.
Apex. What I'm saying is Apex goal is to have a comprehensive coalition from the get-go.
The guy is incompetent. He cannot even, his attorney general cannot even do the right thing. And somehow we're sitting here and say, oh, he's going to win. He's going to win. Like how JTJ is saying, are we going to win? Believe me, he's going to win. He's going to win.
Look, for us to win is in our hands. we have to make the difficult decisions, the difficult ones. We have to make them if we want to win.
And what is that difficult? What is that difficult decision?
Yow xam nga ko, man xam naa ko.
Man how much dara man buma dugal de waxal na leer.
You know it and I know it.
No, I don't know it. Coach, do you know Coach?
Hey, guy ñu ne ku demut ganarit xam nañ ne guddi la ñuy reer.
am na ñuy reer timis nag.
Win an election.
Ma ne am na ñuy reer timis de.
Boo déggee mu ne guddi timis ay tax ñuy wax. You and I all know, and Sariyang, we've had this conversation a lot of times behind the scenes. You know
what, Money? Man, I ask you a straightforward question. What would it take? What is that? Those hard questions. I don't want you to go in circles. Atlanta people say you say it as it is. Just say it as it is, Padamos.
Say it as it is. If we have a coalition, Khalid Ahmed Bensouda is the candidate supported by that coalition. Wallahi, Barrow is finished. I can tell you that. Gambians will line up and they will vote against him. They'll vote for the candidate of Bensouda. The change that we need with the support of these guys, Barrow is finished. You said it.
Can I ask you a question, Musa?
He's on the ropes. He is.
Can I ask you a question, Musa?
Yes.
What about if you have a coalition and Dr. LJ Darboe is the candidate, supported by everybody? Will he win?
Let me put it this way.
So over here, answer. Just answer. Put it this way.
Billahi answer. I love LJ Darboe.
Okay.
I think he could be the answer for the change that we need. But if we're looking for the sorest way, again, the word is sorest way. Could LJ win supported by a coalition? Yes. But
how do you determine the order?
Hey, because you know it and I know it.
So here's the question.
Listen, LJ Darboe has never been on the ballot. You know it and I know it. He's a good man. None of these people have ever been elected to office. He winner. Why? He's been there and tested. It's just like a boxing match. You have a Mike Tyson who has floored people again and again and again. I would bet on him.
And then ended up getting desperate by the people's ears off.
Nothing against the other candidates. But do I believe that Talib Bensouda can do it alone? Haniko, I wouldn't risk it.
Well, the talking point is enough.
What talking point?
The talking point is enough. So, like me. There are others in the field who's been tested. They have battle scars. They've never led a coalition. People like Usainu Darboe, if he leads a coalition, is he going to win?
Usainu has led a coalition.
Let me say this. Usainu Darboe is an honest man. He has sacrificed a lot. He has election, lusatna. So if you are looking at historical data, the man has never won an election. Haniko. So don't tell me, do I believe if Usainu were to be supported by the entire opposition, he could win? Of course. But I do believe, so we're looking at the sorest, that's the word, SUREST, the sorest way, the sorest person that I believe if he were to be backed, that person tomorrow Marina Parade is him. You know it, I know it. Brother Habib,
man, how much yawiyange wasahala man mangla like the tontunolo man.
If we
man, how much dara?
Hey, if we are serious about the change that the country is yearning for, the change that we can all smell it, these people are on the ropes. The rule of law that is now being eroded. Let's fix it, my friends. And this guy can fix it. I'm telling you, he can fix it. Somebody
let me ask you another question. Since you say hypothetically,
Mm.
And don't tell me, let me explain, and I can explain it and say it this way. Because when you do that, when you don't have an answer, that's what you come up with. Let me explain it this way.
You feel like answer nako. Wahalne, you don't like my answers. That I can agree. But
So-
I haven't answered it, I did.
So Esa Baifal is there. So do you think that if they back, everybody backs him, Esa would also win?
If
Oh no,
everybody-
let me withdraw that question.
Listen, if we all come together, back any candidate, we will be at a stronger position. No doubt about that. With
So let me
Esa,
ask you this. Let me
with
ask you this.
Mr.
Let me
Darboe,
put it this way.
Sunday, with LJ, we will be at a stronger position. All I'm saying is, among all of them, we'll be in a much stronger position with Talib. That's
So
what I believe.
So let me ask you this question.
Hmm.
Who is the second sorest candidate to give us victory? You have your this thing. Nakangatura. Talib is the sorest. Who is the next sorest candidate?
I think it'll be Mr. Darboe.
Which one? There are two Mr. Darboe. See, leave it with it.
No, I think it will be, the UDP leader.
Oh, okay.
I think he will be the next Soros. I mean, everything. Look, I'll roll
But
the
he
dice.
can't be the first Soros. He got to be the second Soros.
More Talib Larek, man. I believe in Talib Mogina or. But that doesn't mean Mr. Darboe, if he were to be back, he cannot win. He can win, but I'm just saying
So let's just say your preference.
No, it's not preference. Bilal, it's not preference. My only reason.
One nala ne bail di what di one ne billahi. One nala de.
No, because I mean it. Lima Moine. This is not about preference. I don't even think Talib's policies are much superior to Mr. Darboe's or even to Esafa. It's not even about that. My belief, Moine, most of these opposition leaders, the change that we are looking for, if they were to be elected, the needle is going to move. I do believe that. Because we've already have this guy for 10 years. Be like, we need to change. Then that we all agree to that. Now the fundamental question, Moy, how are we going to be able to accomplish this? In partisans aside, I know people who say you are partisan. Maybe I am, but I'm just saying, be like, if we were to give this man a chance and we back his candidacy, I think Barrow will be defeated.
Okay.
You know that.
I'm about to sign off, Musa, but my question is, any update on the status of the application?
Oh, my brother. Don't worry about that.
This man.
One thing I can tell you, UMC, it's either going to be the government or part of a government.
What about the borough government? Are you going to be part of the borough government?
Haniko.
Mane, what was the outcome of IEC application for UMC? Lola don't like it.
Everything is completed on our side. It's been fast-tracked. Everything will be done in a day or a couple of days.
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, it's been a good one, LJ.
But I think today you are very biased, though.
Biased? How?
Always.
Always.
No,
and you are out of uniform and all that, So I mean, according to the guys over here, they said Musa is always biased.
You know whether you were on the platform earlier, maybe you were busy with Dingente. You've been invited to Atlanta, Georgia, July 3rd. There is going to be a huge town hall meeting here in Atlanta. Talib Ahmed Bensouda will be here, and he's going to answer every question from the entire diaspora in terms of investments in the Gambia for the diaspora, in terms of enfranchisement, in terms of building solid bridges between Gambians living in the diaspora and Gambians at home. December 3rd, put it on your calendar. Buy the ticket now. Come to Atlanta, Georgia. Call me, book your hotels. I'll help you get a hotel at a discount. It's going to happen during the July 4th, that Friday, Atlanta, Georgia. All of you that are watching.
How you doing? Good.
Something is happening. Something big is going to happen.
Okay.
Why? 3 months from now.
Congratulations on the pickup trucks and the more
You want to know the source of
political bureaus. I mean, good on you. Good on the movement.
Thank you very much.
If I see stuff where I need to compliment, I compliment. I don't lament. Understand that?
Thank you very much, Sarian. I want to ask this specific question, Musa, and I want you to ask your guy. I hope. Manela Barona dafa door di sage.
I'm gonna kill an NPP sympathizer.
Who?
Pazamba.
No.
I just want to ask you that the cars that you're giving to these people, that those people have driver's license. Are you giving it to people?
It's only question whether they have driver's license.
No. We see the names. They every day they get names. You know, they don't know how to drive. Maybe they just go and they give it to them. I hope anybody who is giving a car knows how to drive.
They do.
For their own safety and the safety of the people on the roads.
Bro, we're talking about a government in waiting. All we do is change professionalism, nothing. So we are going to make sure anybody...
professionalism, take a cobor. Because the struggle that you guys had with, in fact, registering your party...
No. Come on now.
Musa, I'm going to say that they were Eko. Ni takita. Yes, no tombo. Yes, no tombong. Itakidu like a jibe. So I'll leave you with that word. Go ask anyone. You say you are all about professionalism. Man lumala wa boy. Ni takita yes no tombong. Itakidu like a jibe.
Boy Fatty, you will help me.
No,
Congratulations to Ibrahima. Neko Khalebi Yalnako Yala.
Ibrahim. Musa was a set up. He's here. Let him talk.
Our brother.
Ibrahim, congratulations.
I see and extend my congratulations to the madam. To Mr. Cole, to the father. Gisnane Habib is also there representing Atlanta.
Thank you. Thank you, Musa, man. Appreciate it.
Ibrahima.
Coach.
I you know what? I may be in Seattle sometime in June.
Okay.
We'll talk. Maybe that will be
he's been avoiding you.
Inshallah, coach. You owe me a message back, coach.
He doesn't like to be interviewed. He's just like Daro, our president. He dodges interviews.
I agree. There's been a very popular call for me to get you, coach. And
I'll be in Seattle sometime in June. We can have a sit down.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, man. Brother Maron.
All right, brother man. Just wanted to thank Dr. Darboe for joining us. It was a very insightful one. We'll be back next week, most likely with Swaibu. That was already arranged.
The past 2 months, you haven't delivered on that.
Can you deliver it? You will not deliver, can you are partisan and biased, so nobody wants to come to the show because of you. Boy party, now I'm the independent here. So, but anyway, thank you guys.
All right.